The idea came up from Wayne Tucht. He said, why don't we form an all wheat commission? We all had a little laugh when he first said it, but then when we realized that the Canadian Wheat Board was changing, we thought maybe this is an opportunity that we can't miss out on.
We started off with, somebody interim that really wanted to just help the industry, and with Rick Eisted. And then we got a full-time general manager. I say we stole him from Saskatchewan with Tom Steve. And he's really built a staff over the last 5 years that I would say is second to none.
Prior to my arrival there, the Alberta Wheat Commission was the first wheat commission established in Western Canada. And since 2012, we've had a lot of growth.
There wasn't even a strategy for research, a national wheat strategy at the time. So we were kind of the forerunners.
Well, that's where we got our priorities, was research, then market development, and then policy.
One of our objectives for the research end of things is to try and get different models out there to invest in.
When it comes to research and development, our program focuses on two main areas, genetics and agronomy. And on the genetic side, we're funding researchers that are looking into new varieties that have higher yields, better disease resistance, better resistance to drought, which is an issue in Western Canada. And the other part of the equation is agronomic practices. So how can farmers grow crops more efficiently? We're working on all of those files and funding research that helps them improve their bottom line.
So the Canadian International Grains Institute, or CIGI, is a really important component for our industry.
We committed money going forward. Saskatchewan, Manitoba both did. And then even the grain handlers came on. It's a great setup, a great organization, and CIGI's got quite a reputation looking back. They're well respected worldwide, and we've got a lot to build on.
AWC was a big part of getting Cereals Canada up and running. Farmer directors are very important on the Cereals Canada board. We represent a third of the membership on the board, and we provide a producer's perspective.
Cereals Canada is, of course, made up of exporters, shippers, millers, and life science companies and seed companies.
I remember when I was on one of the new crop missions, with CIGI and Cereals Canada, and I did North Africa. And, for me, it was a real eye-opener. I showed pictures of family, I showed pictures of my grain bags, and they were amazed to see how we stored grain. Well, I said, well, it's minus 30 most of the winter. And then they asked, well, how do you survive in minus 30 winter? And I said, well, that's a whole other story.
Our wheat is second to none in the world, and we want to showcase that and let our buyers know that the farmers who are growing the grain for their markets, we want to sell them a healthy, nutritious product. And here I am telling my story in different countries around the world. I think we're known to be farmers who are objective and fair, and we aren't afraid to get on an issue that is important to our members. I testified before the Transport Committee just back in September to let them know why we need to make rail work better for everybody so that there aren't the delays that we had in 2013. I think we were very effective in bringing that farmer perspective forward, and I think that translated into the legislation. If we can't get our grain to market, we go on these new crop missions and we can tell them how wonderful our grain is, but if we can't get it to them, what good is it?
So the whole goal on this bill is to hold accountability to the railroads. In the past, it always came back to the farmer.
Team Alberta really came from one of our staff at the Alberta Wheat Commission when I was there. It was really important that we got together to go down to Ottawa, open the doors to the MPs, to give a perspective from Alberta.
On the cash ticket deferral file, Alberta Wheat Commission was the first group to go to Ottawa and sit in front of finance people and revenue people to explain to them why this is a reasonable accommodation. We want to even out our income so that we're not paying a ton of income tax the one year and then collecting it back in the next year.
Life Simple ingredient is a very positive, upbeat message that we want to get out to the public. It's very healthy for our family, it's very nutritious for your family, and it's an opportunity to let you know what we do as farmers. So I think that by having this tool that we can use on social media, I think that it's a way to reach out to our consumers.
The important thing I see down the road with consumers is the fact that we need to be giving them integrity and honest messaging.
PDQ is pricing data quotes is what it stands for. That provides good, transparent pricing data on a cash basis for farmers. So You can, at any time, look on that website and find out what a general cash price is in your area.
We want to work together to advance the industry, and I think that's why we're as successful as we are.
Well, when we started the Alberta Wheat Commission, we were looking for small projects just to spend a few dollars on, and after 5 years, we're a mainstay in what gets done now.
I would like to think that we've helped kickstart the new era in the wheat industry in Western Canada.